Hey everybody, it's me. My left ear won't stop buzzing. 892 God here. And today I'm gonna tell you to grind core battle. Pick a girl with cat. Press one button and you're good. Goodbye.
Every tutorial I've seen has said that same thing. Pick your Stola and spam your neutral attack to go ham on the core. Sure, it's a good strategy because of how the core mechanics work. It takes a single attack to do the most amount of damage to the core, like a single full attack. And your Stola can spam that with her marksman ability to spam a single attack over and over again. But it's not the only strategy, surprisingly. There are other strategies, and there's actually more to it than just picking your Stola and pressing X 10 times or so and then being done. I think it goes a little bit more in depth than that, to have a really good run for core battle. There's some things you should be aware of. Here's some generic rules to follow in order to improve your core battle experience. Number 1. Stages. Now, these rules don't really apply to marksmen because they can shoot through the shield, so distance doesn't really matter for them. Also, they have greater range, and they still do pretty good damage no matter which marksman you're playing as, unless you're playing as Ultimecia. Her damage is a little underwhelming because of how long her attacks take. That's actually something you'll see with a lot of characters in this. They won't perform well because they work fine in the combat part of the game, but in the core battle, no, they don't work well at all. But anyways, go for smaller stages. Orban Monastery, Interdimensional Rift, like on this screen right here. Those stages are completely fine and great for core battle because if you get knocked away, you can run right back to the core. One exception to this rule is Narsh, which despite being an enormous map, actually is great for core battle because the cores are right in front of each other, separated by a small gap. There's also a wall behind each core, so you don't have to worry about getting knocked away because 90% of the time you're either going to get knocked towards your core or the wall next to the enemy core. Narsh, however, is the only exception I can really think of large maps that play well in core battle. Most of the other large maps, Cornelia, Besaid Island, Midgar, they play terribly due to how much distance is between both of the cores. Finally, 2 stages I would avoid as well, that don't look like they're bad, but they are Lunar Subterrane and the Floating Continent. Because they both have these weird rock formations between the cores that are just these giant ass rocks, which are just annoying, I'm not gonna lie. If you don't find them annoying, then go ahead and play on them, I guess. But they're just annoying and in the way. This projectile is hard to get through because they can't get through the rock because the rock is in the way. You can't break down rocks without knocking somebody through them, and the computer will dodge every single attack you do, which means knocking through that rock is gonna be pretty hard. That about covers stages. Now on to the next subject, the match you choose. Now, clearly you have to choose the hardest match each time to get the most points, so that overrules everything. And next is what kind of matches you can choose if you're actually able to choose whatever match you want, regardless of difficulty. Which means that you have the same difficulty for each match, or you're just ignoring the whole difficulty thing and just going for matches you want to fight. You're going to want to avoid matches with marksmen. That goes without saying, it's pretty obvious. Marksmen will destroy your core from a distance, and they'll just, be annoying the whole match because they have range and they're the best bots around, which means they'll hit you with everything and you'll miss everything against them because you don't have the range. Or even if you do have the range, you might have the speed, or you're just not a bot, you can't dodge everything perfectly like they can. Avoid the Warrior of Light if you can as well, since Holy Chain can knock you off of the core, force you to lock off of it and lock onto him. And for some characters it don't really affect you, like let's say a marksman who can still keep shooting behind the core to damage it while Warrior Light runs away. Or you're playing as, let's say, Zidane, and you can just do the tornado attack over and over and over again while you're waiting for your aiming to go back to normal. But for most characters, they really can't deal with Holy Chain's abilities. Another character to avoid is Garland, because he can do some pretty insane damage to both your allies, your computer allies, you, and your core with his buff at level 2. Because it increases the amount of attacks he does in between his combos, along with the damage done by those combos. So it just piles up on the damage with Garland. And finally, this is more like a sub-rule than a required rule. Try to avoid fights against your counters, with some exceptions like Jekt, Sephiroth, where the AI is just not suited for core battle. You shouldn't fight people who will counter you because they're better than your character if you two get into direct conflict. So just try to avoid them if you can. It's more of a soft rule than a hard rule though, so don't think too hard on it. What's more important is that you avoid all marksmen possible. However, going on what I said earlier, there actually are some characters you actually are going to want to fight against. Cloud and Sephiroth both just kind of suck and miss everything. I have no fear of fighting them one-on-one, even as Chaos bots with 5000 HP, increased damage, increased everything. Sephiroth and Cloud just aren't very good. I don't know why, I can't explain why, but I've noticed they're usually off attacking the wall, or they're missing all their projectiles. Fight them with confidence, and they'll crumble before your attack. Squall has to get in super close before he can land a single attack on the core, because he can't use his lightning projectile really well in this mode, and it doesn't do that much damage anyway. Jekt, he can't block the core's existence, so he basically has a generic neutral combo and a generic short-range dive kick to use. He's terrible in this mode. Try to fight him as much as you can. Ram's bot tends to stop and charge whenever it gets a chance, so take advantage of that. It'll even stop in the middle of the tracks when it needs to move to charge. It's almost like charging takes place over everything else in his commands. Attacking, defending the core, summoning, he will charge his little heart out. It doesn't change the fact that he's actually really good at combat, he just charges way too much. These bot stereotypes can also apply to your own team as well. And speaking of your own team, who should you pick to go with you? To be blunt, the allies you choose and what they equip doesn't really matter. There are some things, however, to avoid rather than to equip, in my opinion. Avoid giving them perfect defense, doom, teleport, HP share, jinx, enfeeble, revivify, and mimic. Basically, any EX skill requiring timing, teamwork, cooperation, or precision, they never use them right. Because the bots tend to just throw out the EX skill as soon as that's available, rather than waiting for an opportune time, such as when somebody uses a buff or a debuff. If you want to bring these, use them on yourself. But, however, I'd rather bring HP regen on myself, because my strategy later on, I'll explain later, explains why I would bring HP regen on myself. But if you're going to bring something like this, bring it on yourself so you can use it at the appropriate time. Don't trust your bots to do it for you, because they'll never end up doing it correctly. If they do, it's pure luck. Or you're a timing god, you know exactly when they're going to use whatever. The only character I would recommend against using is Jekt for an ally, because the Jekt bot is terrible and can't do damage to the core and it can't really fight that well, so everyone else is just fine to use as a team, as long as you make your team well balanced and make it so they all work together well in terms of class composition and character, roles, etc. For HP attacks, bring your most annoying one that hits online players if you play online, or bring ones with absorb effects. I've noticed the AI has a horrible time dodging these, because it'll spam the dodge ability rather than actually dashing out of the way of these attacks like online players would tend to do and actually avoid the attack. They'll keep spamming the dodge until they're safe. For example, Ultimate Shield. If you just throw this out at an online player, they'll keep dodging and then dash away until they can punish you. The online computer will keep dodging random directions, and 90% of the time they'll get hit by it. Some HP attacks I would recommend are Ultimate Shield, Holy, Chirigiraden, Tidal Flame, Divine Malison, Salvation Scythe, Solution 9, Ultima, Amalgast, Warp Strike, and Plunge. Basically, fast, big, absorb attacks, or slow, giant attacks, because the AI tends to dodge into those long-lasting HP attacks for some reason. I have no clue why they do, but they do. So you can use those along with the super fast HP attacks. For summons, the first place is shared by Odin and Alexander for me, and then Shiva in second. Odin because you can dash directly at the core faster than anybody else, and you can stay dashing longer with him. And Alexander because, well, I'll explain it in just a second for our generic strategy with all characters. For Shiva, however, I like her because she can get you some easy kills with freezing the computers if they dash into the freeze traps on the floor. So now you get your team all organized, you got your 3 favorite characters, or whatever 3 characters you're using to grind up. You've got your stage picked, your small stage, you've gotten the core ready, you're fighting no marksmen, you're fighting 3 assassins, 3 vanguards, a mixed team of random people, whatever. You've got everything going and you're in a fight now. So, what do? Now, there's this generic strategy with Y'shtola where you just press X a lot because her neutral attack does a fuck ton of damage to the core. Because the way the damage works in this game against the core, in a core battle, is that a full combo, once you land that last hit, will do the maximum amount of damage. The full combo is like calculated into the whole thing. So basically, let's say you're playing as Bard and you do his triple punch thing. You'll do 1 punch as a little bit of damage, 1 punch as a little bit more damage, and a 3rd punch does a significant more amount of damage, calculating to like a normal amount of damage onto the core. And the Y'shtola, her 1 projectile she shoots out is basically the whole thing. It's just all at once. And then she can cancel the end lag into another one. So basically she can keep throwing out full combos really fast due to the way her whole mechanic works. It's not overpowered online, but in this core battle, it is completely broken. So if you only care about character level, player level, and all that shit, yeah, you can just do that as Y'shtola. You probably could just click off this entire video, kind of serve you no purpose if you're just going for player level compared to other people's videos that you've probably already seen by this point. But, let's say you don't want to play as Y'shtola, you don't like Final Fantasy XIV or whatever, or you don't like her. What do you do now? There's no other strategy, right? Wrong. I'm going to introduce you to something I like to call the brute force strategy. Now, this strategy doesn't work very well with marksmen. Marksmen can just stay away and pelt the thing with random projectiles, and then spam HP attacks towards whatever enemy they have. But for vanguards, assassins, and specialists, this is for you. You've probably noticed that I've played as Zidane this whole video except for 2 scenes, and that's because Zidane is considered by a lot of people to be the worst assassin in terms of combat, and that's exactly why I picked him, to show that this strategy can work with the weakest possible character to use in core battle, the worst assassin, at least according to people's opinions. So this strategy is very simple, and it ties together all the reasons why I care so much about the HP in this video. First, you want to bring HP regen to help you survive a little bit longer. You also want to bring Alexander to increase your HP a little bit to make you survive a little bit longer. You're trying to bolster your defense here, you see. So what you're going to want to do is run directly to the core and just keep waylaying on it for a long ass time. Bots will keep moving around, they'll move towards the core, they'll move back towards the core to fight, they'll move towards enemy to fight. Basically everybody else will be moving around and fighting while you're just beating the shit out of the core. Even while it's invincible, you can keep beating the shit out of the core with your neutral combo, dash canceling it every single chance you get. You're just going to keep doing this, you're just going to keep going on and on and on and on. Now eventually the bots will start coming to the core and actually start trying to fight you at higher difficulty levels. They'll do this faster. But basically, when they get close, start spamming your HP attack until it lands. The reason why you do this, even if it hits into 0 damage, is because when you hit by an HP attack, you're knocked away and stunned on the ground for a couple seconds before you can get up and keep fighting. You're going to take advantage of this and keep doing this to the bots, because when the bots are invincible, or when anybody's invincible and they go to the core, the game doesn't count them as being in there. When you're around the core or near it, inside the shield area, nobody can damage your core. When you're not in that shield area, or if you're in an invincible, the shield won't come up and people can beat the shit out of your core. So you keep doing these HP attacks over and over and over and over again to keep buying yourself neutral combos basically during those small amounts of time. And if there's multiple enemies, just keep doing it until, you know, one of them dies. Because you're going to whittle away at their health at the same time eventually. You'll be able to kill one of them, hopefully, and then be able to knock the other one away. And most of the time, maybe you'll hit both of them, you might be able to hit one of them, you might hit one of them away with a bravery combo if they're doing a long attack and you see an opportunity to hit them with a bravery combo. But your main goal is to keep landing those HP attacks, buy yourself bravery combos on the core. You're gonna die eventually. These bots get doing the same amount of damage within a single attack due to the unfair advantages they're given at higher difficulties, and that doesn't matter. Just run up to the core, respawn, and keep wailing on it until the bots come and kill you again. It's more important that you die than your friends, because your friends are essentially goalkeepers in a sense towards your core. They tend to stay kind of defensive and not actually dive onto the core if you're already on it, if you're the only person on there. Which is fine, because most of the time you can take down a 2v1 by yourself by spamming your annoying HP attack. Along that note, if your friendly bots die, consider going back and playing defensive for a while until they respawn, because if your core is low on health or it's near the enemy's health, all 3 enemies could dive your core easily, and one of them could be stay back and defend their own core, or they could 2v1 your one single defender bot, which could end up being in a tough situation for your own core's health if they manage to whittle it down really fast before your next bot respawns. Or your bot might be off hitting the core because all the bots love getting the summon out immediately. They just love it rather than actually, you know, fighting off another player or whatever. Speaking of summons, when the enemy team gets their summon, all 3 of them will try to summon at the same time. However, if you're in their core, they'll dash at their core and then summon. This is the perfect time to land your HP attack, because you can predict exactly when they're going to summon, run up to them, press square, and just smack them away like that. You can use this to your advantage as many times as you can, and in fact I've won a lot of matches by letting you get the core first. So keep running up to me, summoning, then I just hit him with an HP attack. Next guy comes up to me, summon, HP attack. Rinse and repeat. I actually have a couple Twitter videos of me doing this, because I found it so amusing the first time I found out about this, but it happens in every single core match. They'll keep spamming the summon, getting close to their own core, but never actually knocking you away, which is the perfect time to actually take advantage of this and keep knocking them away, making the summon never come out, and eventually leaving only one of them alive for a small period of time, granting you that victory by the time they actually can do this. Now, if your own bots are summoning, summon with them immediately, just drop everything, if you're about to win or whatever, summon. Because your bots are just going to keep spamming the summon until they actually get the summon out, and your bots are messed up. You want them to get back into the action immediately, so just summon with them, get it over and done with. Usually the two of them will be summoning at the same time, so you can just click on your button and they'll be done, so it won't even be a big problem for you. Other than that, that's basically the brute force strategy. Keep spamming your neutral bravery combo against the damn thing until it's dead, because your neutral bravery combo is the fastest most of the time, and it'll get the damage done to it. Anyways, that's my whole video on core battle strategy grinding if you're not going to use your Stola and spam one attack against it. Now if you're going to use your Stola, just spam your neutral bravery combo outside of it. It's pretty easy. But you've already probably seen that before. I'm Blue the Hedgehog. I'll see you guys next time on my channel, hopefully, for another long, drawn-out guide about everything you need to know about DFFNT, or maybe some other video I'll be doing, like, I don't know, like a meme video about Ace's crazy dance moves, or Warrior Lights I would rather not quote, which makes me laugh, or I must refuse from Furion. Anyways, See you next time. Stay safe, don't eat your mom, and subscribe for more Dissidia stuff. Toodaloo!